sedated by shock therapy. But whatever her role, audiences were entranced by her elegance and especially by her eyes. Her breakthrough came in the 1944 classic Laura. Jean Tierney was barely in her 20s then, but already was married to designer Oleg Cassini and about to begin a passionate affair with John F. Kennedy. Her beauty continued to enchant lovers and movie audiences alike until her slow descent into mental illness and her own private hell.
Look at her. Not bad.
She was the embodiment of unattainable beauty, the image of perfection. As the mysterious Laura, Jean Tierney inspired the adoration of filmgoers around the world.
She had a great presence. The minute she came on, you'd look, wow, and she got you.
Yes, she is.
Off-screen, she won the love of princes and future presidents. But behind the glamorous facade was a woman who struggled to keep her sanity amid a storm of personal crises and a crippling battle with mental illness.
On the surface, she had everything: beauty, intelligence, talent. But on the other side of it was something very tragic.
There was a girl that had everything, and everything ended up in stark misery and despair.
By 1920, America had emerged from the shadow of World War I. The jazz age was igniting, Wall Street was booming. And into this age of energy and ambition, Jean Eliza Tierney was born in Brooklyn on November 19th, 1920. She was called Princess by her parents and blessed with striking looks inherited from her mother, Belle Taylor, a former gymnastics teacher. In 1916, Belle had eloped with a charming Irishman named Howard Tierney. And after Howard served in World War I, he became a successful New York insurance broker. Along with her older brother, Howard Jr., and younger sister, Pat, Jean was raised to obey her father without question.
My father was overly strict. He was the lord and master of the house. And Jean was a devoted daughter.
In 1926, the Tierneys moved to Greens Farms, Connecticut, settling into a sprawling home where they were denied nothing. But behind the image of a happy family, there was tension. Jean was haunted by nightmares caused by her parents' constant fighting. She retreated into a creative world of make-believe, and by the early 1930s, the beautiful adolescent showed a gift for writing and mimicry. But Howard saw his daughter following a traditional path, ending in marriage. He did grant her one great adventure when, at 15, she was allowed to study abroad in Lausanne, Switzerland.
My mother loved Europe. She really enjoyed learning the French language. She made some wonderful friends, and those were special days for her.
After 2 exciting years, Jean returned to Connecticut. But she was stunned to find that the father she adored was now badly in debt. A lawsuit had toppled his business, and the family had lost its beloved home to a bank. But Howard Tierney struggled to keep up an image of success. And in the summer of 1938, he sent the family on a road trip to the western United States. Among their stops was Hollywood, where Jean was captivated by a tour of Warner Brothers studios. Within minutes, the gorgeous 17-year-old caught the eye of director Anatole Litvak. Dazzled by her beauty, he arranged a screen test for the astonished teen. And though she had no training, her test so impressed the studio that she was offered a contract at $150 a week.
She was thrilled. I think everybody was amazed. All of a sudden now she wants to become an actress.
Although Howard Tierney ordered his daughter not to accept, the determined Jean struck a bargain. After she obediently made her formal society debut, she could audition in New York for the legitimate Broadway stage. After just 1 month, the fantasy life Jean dreamed of became a reality when she won a small part in the play Mrs. O'Brien Entertains. And on February 8, 1939, the would-be actress made her debut on Broadway. The play was panned, but Jean won glowing notices.
She was 18 years old, and I mean, she was on top of the world. She got great reviews. All the big theater critics wined and dined her.
Soon, Jean won a more substantial part in the James Thurber stage comedy, The Male Animal. And on January 9th, 1940, the role of an ultra-modern co-ed made the fledgling actress a Broadway sensation.
The first time I saw Jean was in New York in a production of The Male Animal. She was so beautiful, very fresh, dew-like. She was an early Grace Kelly.
One fateful night, Jean's performance captured the imagination of one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, Darrell Ap Zanuck, production chief of 20th Century Fox.
He said, sign that girl. Then later on that evening, he went to the Store Club and sees this beautiful girl dancing around. He said to the man again, he said, forget Jean Tierney, sign that girl. And of course it was Jean.
Happy on Broadway, Jean held out for a salary of $750 a week, money to be held in a family corporation managed by her father. Finally, the nervous, excited actress said farewell to the stage for a fresh start in Hollywood. At Fox, she began work on a prestigious Western, The Return of Frank James, opposite Henry Fonda.
Mr. Woodson?
Yes, ma'am?
I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm looking for the man who saw Frank James killed in Mexico. My name's Eleanor Stone. I'm a newspaper writer. I was passing the hotel, and somebody told me
Writer?
that...
You mean you write pieces for the paper?
Yes, a reporter for the Denver Star.
A lady reporter?
Mind if I sit down? It'll be easier for me to take notes.
During filming, the newcomer worked hard to improve her acting.
They would run old movies for her, one after another, till midnight sometimes. And with her talent for natural mimicking, I think that's where she learned the most.
Oh, I don't have to work. And if you must know, my father's very much opposed to it. He thinks I should finish college and then sit around with my hands folded, waiting for someone to get around to marrying me. I'll do nothing of the sort.
But at a preview of her film, Jean shrank with embarrassment, feeling she sounded on screen like an angry Minnie Mouse. She was further pained when the magazine Harvard Lampoon named her the worst female discovery of 1940. But to Jean's surprise, The Return of Frank James was a hit, and the young star moved swiftly from film to film. She began smoking to lower her voice, and in time, she gained confidence on screen.
Jean was very serious about becoming an actress and tried very hard not to upset anybody. She did everything that was asked of her and even gave it more effort than was required.
What you get from Jean Tierney when you're watching her is that there's a kind of double thing there, an either or. She's very, very exotic and really unusual, but she's also has a quality of typical American debutante to her.
Ain't you gonna give me just a bite, love?
No.
Fox used Jean's mix of the exotic and the all-American in a range of roles. In director John Ford's Tobacco Road, she played a seductive hillbilly. In Belle Starr, opposite Randolph Scott, she tackled the role of a Western outlaw.
See those leaves over there? Let's see how close you can come to one of them.
You mean you want me to try and put a hole through it? Like this? Or shall I just cut it off? Like this?
Jean herself was about to become a rebel. At a party in December of 1940, she met Count Oleg Cassini, a dashing 27-year-old designer for Paramount. He was European, divorced, and to the 20-year-old Jean, the most dangerous-looking man she'd ever met, and the attraction was mutual.
She was better looking in life than in pictures. I mean, it was really an extraordinary genetic marvel that I was in front of. And I want to possess it because it was a masterpiece.
By their second date, Jean and the passionate Oleg were discussing marriage. But she was anguished when her parents opposed the romance. Howard Tierney accused Oleg of being a fortune hunter and threatened to have his daughter declared mentally unstable.
I think she felt like she was being pulled from all angles. The little girl part of her life was being destroyed in a way, pulled away from her.
20th Century Fox was also against the romance and forced Jean to go on studio-arranged dates. The strain took its toll and the young lovers separated. In April, the depressed actress traveled to Connecticut to visit her father. But her world was sent reeling again when she saw Howard Tierney with a female friend of her mother's and realized the parent she worshipped was having an affair.
This was a tremendous shock for her because she had such respect for my father, and then she lost faith in him.
An emotional Jean rushed back to Oleg and begged to reconcile. Together, they decided to defy her parents and the studio. On June 1st, 1941, she purchased an airline ticket to Las Vegas using an alias, the outlaw Belle Starr. And that night, she and Oleg secretly married.
During the service, they called me to the phone, and it was Harry Brandt of 20th Century Fox, the head of the publicity department, and he was trying to convince me to stop. I said, look, she's my wife now, and she's going to do what I tell her to do.
Oleg was fired from his design job at Paramount Pictures, and a furious Howard Tierney told the press he would try to have his daughter's marriage annulled. Defying her father, Jean dissolved the corporation he had formed to hold her salary. But she was stunned to discover that her entire savings were gone. A desperate Howard had taken them all in a failed attempt to save his collapsing business.
There was no money there. And that was a tremendous shock to all of us.
The actress was devastated by his betrayal, an agony that deepened when her parents divorced. She vowed never to speak to her father again. The foundation of Jean's life, her family, had been shattered. But for a time, she found escape in roles that would elevate her to the top ranks of Hollywood stardom. Biography will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty. The new Silverado interior is so big, there's plenty of room for seating. And, in a pinch... Mommy said I could ride the pony. Ample room for sleeping. Introducing Silverado, the truck from Chevrolet.
The best way to stop suffering from allergies is never to start. This is Nasal Crom. You heard right. Nasal Crom. It's allergy prevention. Nasal Crom doesn't just relieve allergies. It flat out prevents them, preventing the natural defenses in your nose from going haywire. So you can live like a person with no allergies. Nasal Crom's like nothing else. No drowsiness, no jitters, no dependency. Nasal Crom. The best way to stop suffering is never to start.
You enter the financial world in search of a secure future. Instead, you find chaos and confusion. 9,000 companies to invest in.
Market mania!
10,000 mutual funds to choose from. Bonds, T-bills, commodities, precious metals. With new and unfamiliar choices emerging every day. The possibilities are overwhelming. Fortunately, there is a beacon in this complex world. An experienced partner who, for half a century, has helped tens of thousands of individuals and families find comfort instead of confusion. Come to the mountain called First Union. Or if you prefer, the mountain will come to you.
An A&E special presentation. It is the smallest nation on Earth, with an army of guards, all 200 of them, that carry weapons dating back to the Middle Ages. Yet it was a hidden force behind the collapse of Soviet communism and the guiding light of Renaissance art. 108 acres of secrets, spirits, and splendor. The Vatican Revealed. Sunday at 9 Eastern, 10 Pacific on A&E.
Search A&E's award-winning Who's Who database, Biography.com. With over 20,000 lives at your fingertips, Biography.com is the online authority for every life story. Who will you meet today?
You're watching Gene Tierney on Biography. Despite Gene Tierney's bitter personal battles, the actress's career climbed higher. Her gorgeous face graced countless magazines. Her films were hits, and in the summer of 1941, United Artists hired her husband, Oleg Cassini, to design her exotic wardrobe for the melodrama The Shanghai Gesture. Back at Fox, Gene smoldered as a Polynesian native opposite Fox's top star, Tyrone Power, in Son of Fury.
This time you won't get away so easily.
She was busy every day, all the time. She wanted to be a great actress. So she studied very, very hard. We would rehearse the lines up to 1 o'clock in the morning. It was a very boring thing for me.
If you didn't have a face like that, our quarrels would last a lot longer.
We'll have plenty of time to fight after we're married. Right now, let's go out and celebrate our engagement.
That December, Fox reteamed Gene with Henry Fonda for her first screen comedy, Rings on Her Fingers, in which she played a seductive con artist.
Spruce Mass, yes, I see her. I like her topsides. Good sheer.
But on December 7th, 1941, filming came to a sudden stop as Gene and the cast learned that Japanese bombs had rained on Pearl Harbor.
All of a sudden, there's dead silence. And then someone said, war has been declared. The Japanese have bombed Pearl Harbor. We were terrified.
With the start of World War II, Oleg joined the Coast Guard and then transferred to the Army Cavalry in Fort Riley, Kansas. His wife tirelessly campaigned in bond drives across the Midwest.
Chat with girl aviation workers, and motion picture star Gene Tierney names a bomber. I christen thee Thunderbird. Think it'll do all right against Nazis and Japs? Sure, says Gene, at the California plant where bombers are built for victory.
Look, let's get away. Let's get married immediately, right away, tonight.
You mean elope?
That's what I mean.
In Hollywood, Gene's star power grew in films like the sparkling romantic comedy Heaven Can Wait, opposite Don Amici.
Whenever I wasn't with you, I was always a little uncertain and nervous about my little Casanova. And then, one day, I noticed that you began to have a little, well, just a little tummy. Then I knew I was safe.
For the first time, she played a mother. And life imitated art when Gene learned during filming that she was pregnant. She was ecstatic. At last, her chaotic world seemed headed for a happy ending. But 1 week before her maternity leave, Gene performed an act of kindness that would have unforeseen and devastating consequences. One night, the actress appeared at the Hollywood canteen to greet visiting soldiers. Days later, she was shocked to find her face covered with German measles. Doctors reassured the nervous mother-to-be that she had nothing to worry about. So she traveled on, joining Oleg at his base in Junction City, Kansas, spending months as a contented Army wife.
She was the happiest I've ever seen her, because maybe it's because of far away from Hollywood and the intrigues and all that, but as an Army wife, she was happy. Very, very happy.
They would be the last carefree days in Gene Tierney's life. On October 15th, 1943, the actress gave birth prematurely to a daughter. The overjoyed parents named her Daria. But the happiest days of their lives soon became a nightmare. Jean was horrified to learn that her beautiful child was born partially blind. And in time, the news was even worse. Daria was also deaf and severely retarded.
And it's almost indescribable, the scene that occurred, where I had to gradually try to tell her that, that there was no hope. She started crying and screaming, and I remember at one point I left the hospital and I began to run. I realized that she was never going to be the same Jean.
I don't think Jean ever fully recovered from that blow.
The increasingly fragile actress returned to Los Angeles, where months later, a chance meeting gave her a shocking insight into Daria's illness. One day, Jean was approached by a female fan. The woman, a former Marine, said that they had met before at the Hollywood canteen. She confessed that to go to the canteen, she had secretly left her unit where she was under quarantine for German measles.
It hit Jean between the eyes because by that time, Jean had found out that the cause of all Daria's problems was because she had had German measles.
The woman said, I just loved you so much and I wanted to see you. It was my only chance, so I came anyway. The knowledge that it is your success that caused this tragedy to happen, how can anyone deal with that?
Jean's feelings of guilt and anger tore at her mind as she returned to 20th Century Fox. She tried to turn down the movie waiting for her, the project originally planned for Jennifer Jones. Its first director was fired days into shooting, and Jean was convinced the film would be a failure. The movie was the romantic mystery, Laura.
Every woman will feel that when it comes to men, Laura gets by with murder. Every man will feel that when it comes to murder, it couldn't involve a more enticing girl.
The actress played an apparent murder victim who turns up to become a murder suspect. Her portrait alone inspires a tough detective played by Dana Andrews to fall in love with her.
They could not have had a more perfect leading lady for Laura than Jean Tierney, because all the qualities of Laura, the mystery, the beauty, the strange, haunting qualities she has.
What are you trying to do? Force a confession out of me?
You've been holding out, and I want to know why. It'll be easier for you if you tell the truth.
What difference does it make what I say? You've made up your mind I'm guilty.
Are you?
Don't tell me you have any doubts.
In the case of Jean Tierney, she was so exquisite that you just looked at her and you knew why Dana Andrews had fallen madly in love with her. When I was working on the score, I kept looking at her all the time. I'd run sequences, and there's this fabulous creature. You come across something marvelous, and it inspires you.
With a perfect cast and a first-rate script, Laura crystallized into cinema magic. David Raxon's theme became a musical standard, reflecting the spell Jean Tierney cast as Laura, the face in the misty light. The film was a box office smash, and at age 24, after 12 films, its star was now one of Hollywood's most in-demand actresses. In the summer of 1945, as World War II neared its triumphant end, Oleg was honorably discharged from the military. His distinguished war record finally opened the doors of Hollywood for the talented designer, but Daria's condition, Jean's work hours, and her husband's roving eye tore at their marriage.
She could be very, very jealous. She was watching me because she thought that my eye was wandering. I admitted to some peccadillos at that time. The fact is that I was reacting to this condition which I was being put. I had to live a long time as the husband of Jean Tierney.
Her passion found an outlet in the drama Leave Her to Heaven. Darryl Zanuck entrusted her with one of the most coveted parts in Hollywood, the role of a wife whose jealousy and madness drive her to murder.
Oh, darling, forgive me. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's only because I love you so. I love you so I can't bear to share you with anybody.
It was the film she felt was her best work. She's portraying a powerful, controlling person who is willing to kill to have her own way.
Don't worry about your direction. I'll keep you on your course. Okay.
Just think about how few actresses ever get a moment on screen of the one she had.
I think I'm getting tired.
Coldly sitting there allowing that young crippled boy to drown because he took attention away from her.
Help me!
The film broke box office records and earned 25-year-old Jean her first Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. Although the Oscar went to Joan Crawford for Mildred Pierce, Jean took pride in being recognized for more than just her ravishing beauty. But success had come at a high price. Her marriage was collapsing, and more heartbreak lay just ahead.
I hate grapes. Green and purple and seedless. Sure, they taste great. But on a supermarket floor, they can make for nasty slips and falls. Hi, I'm Al Mangoni, a safety specialist with Liberty Mutual Insurance. There's no reason the supermarket floor should ever be a dangerous place. So we're working on non-slip flooring and other materials to keep you safe.
At Liberty Mutual, we have hundreds of experts helping you live a safer, more secure life. It's insurance in action.
I also hate bananas.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through.
Have you seen Transitions lenses lately? Indoors, the changing tint is clearer. Outdoors, they're the darkest Transitions lenses ever. For all-day comfort and convenience, Transitions lenses, right in any light.
I'll be seeing you.
Visit our website or call 1-877-4-TRANSITIONS.
Mannington introduces Nature Form. The first resilient flooring with the look and texture of real ceramic tile. Mannington, feeling is believing.
It was a time of conquest, a time of duty and sacrifice.
Enough, I say!
A time when courage was expected, but honor required. A&E presents a motion picture event never before brought to television. 4 original movies, 1 extraordinary man, Horatio Hornblower. 4 consecutive Sundays beginning April 4th on A&E.
Welcome to Advanced Engine Technology.
Now, what's this do?
Only the Mazda Millennia S offers the Miller Cycle engine. A fuel-efficient V6 that performs like a V8.
First time, huh, mister?
Biography's look at Jean Tierney continues on A&E.
Recognition for the star of Leave Her to Heaven. Congratulations, Jean Tierney.
In 1946, Jean Tierney was at the height of her Hollywood stardom as one of 20th Century Fox's most popular actresses. She had also won the respect of co-workers for her determination and for her kindness.
Jean always wanted to make everybody happy. The hairdresser had to be happy. The guy that would bring the food would have to be happy. I kept telling her, these are professionals. They don't need your continuous emotional support. Give it to yourself. Don't worry so much about others.
Jean's own emotional state was increasingly distressed. She was enraged by Oleg's extramarital affairs, which led to public fights between the two. They also agonized over their mentally retarded daughter. Jean hoped Daria might be cured, But a specialist hired by her friend millionaire Howard Hughes convinced her Daria's condition was irreversible. The anguished mother agreed to place her in a home.
It was sort of an admission of defeat. She knew that this baby was not going to be part of her life anymore. It was a terrible, empty feeling that she had.
Jean and Oleg were more divided than ever. The strain worsened as Howard Hughes urged the actress to divorce and marry him. One night, when Hughes drove her home, an enraged Oleg was waiting in the garage.
I hit him with a 2x4 in the back. And he jumped on his seat, and I had the car. The garage was open, and the car was ready to go. So he might have gained maybe 200 yards on me, but I was behind him. And we went through several lights at full speed. I was ready to go and break his jaw.
As Jean and her husband drifted apart, another man caught the movie star's eye. One day, while filming, she found herself staring into the stunning blue eyes of a visitor to the set, a young Navy lieutenant named John F. Kennedy.
He was very courteous, very sweet, and he had a joke for everything. She said, he's so bright and he's such fun.
Soon a romance began. After Kennedy's election to Congress in 1946, Jean told Oleg and asked for a divorce.
She was very honest about it. I said, don't waste your time with a Catholic who has ambitions in politics, because you're a divorced woman. You're never going to be accepted. She believed that he would marry her.
Despite the tension in their failing marriage, Oleg designed the costumes for his wife's next film, The Razor's Edge, co-starring Tyrone Power.
I've never seen you so beautiful.
Jean sparkled as a manipulative, selfish socialite who chooses money over love.
Do you think I've sacrificed myself only to let Larry fall into the hands of a woman like that?
How did you sacrifice yourself?
I gave up Larry for one reason only. Because I didn't want to stand in his way.
Oh, come off it, Isabel. You gave him up for a square-cut diamond and a sable coat.
Oh!
After The Razor's Edge, Jean traveled to Cape Cod, where she spent a romantic week with Jack Kennedy. She was passionately in love, but once again, her happiness was not destined to last.
Jean was having lunch with Jack one day, and he said to her, you know, Jean, I can't marry you. And I think she realized that this is it. That was the end of it.
The blow was expected, but Jean was brokenhearted. Ironically, the Tierney film then on movie screens was The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, the story of an impossible love affair. The film co-starred Rex Harrison and inspired one of Jean's most tender performances.
What's to become of us, Daniel? Of you and me?
Nothing can become of me. Everything's happened that can happen.
But not to me.
It's the story of a woman who doesn't really find love tangibly, physically present. What she has in life is a ghost, a fantasy figure. So Tierney's own life is somewhat like this. She doesn't find in life the romance that she was promised, the things that she thought marriage and love and everything were when she was a young girl.
Jean and Oleg had stayed friends during their separation, and in 1948, they agreed not to divorce. The actress longed to have a child, and on November 19th, her 28th birthday, she gave birth to a daughter, Christina. The baby was completely healthy.
She was so perfect in every way. Jean was elated. She just couldn't talk enough, do enough for that child.
But the new mother worried about financing care for Daria. She was also helping fund Oleg's new fashion business and taking care of her mother.
There was quite a burden on her shoulders. She was taking care of everybody, looking after us all.
The actress threw herself into work at Fox, making 5 films in under 2 years. One highlight was the 1950 film noir thriller Night and the City.
You could have been anything. Anything. You had brains, ambition. You worked harder than any 10 men. But the wrong things. Always the wrong things.
There was a quality about her that you can only say it was class. Her personality was a little mysterious and seemed unapproachable at first, but when you did approach her, she was just like the girl next door.
In the 1951 drama Where the Sidewalk Ends, Jean was briefly joined on screen by Oleg Cassini.
Very nice, but too high style for my customers.
Maybe we could make a little bolero, Oleg. Well, I'll sketch it.
But off-screen, work conflicts were again crushing the marriage. Things hit an impasse in 1951 when she insisted her husband join her in Argentina for the filming of Way of a Gaucho.
She said, if you don't come and see me, I will divorce you. And I said, it's do or die for me in my work. If I can succeed, I will be exactly the man you wanted me to be. And I could not accept the ultimatum. And so that was the end of it.
In Argentina, Jean began to realize something was wrong with her. She became disoriented and sent Oleg rambling letters claiming her co-workers were against her. In February, the exhausted actress returned to Los Angeles and filed for divorce. Her marriage had finally ended after a decade of heartache and tension. But the greatest nightmare of Jean Tierney's life was just beginning.
Pasta is my passion. For me, there is only one pasta, Barilla. It's always perfect.
Giovanni, la pasta!
Calm down. It's Barilla. Barilla is always al dente and remains al dente.
Perfetto.
Barilla, Italian for pasta, made perfect.
Do you wash your car more than you mow your lawn? Shouldn't there be a national holiday for the guy who designed the GTO?
Ever meet a turn you didn't like?
Then get to the Pontiac Excitement Drive-Away, because now with this great offer on the handling and control of wide-track Grand Prix, the only question is, what are you waiting for?
This is today's Pontiac driving excitement.
This is for me. For me. Join us at the Excitement Drive-Away. See your dealer today.
Tomorrow on Biography This Week, one man with the power over life and death finds his own future on the line as the controversial Dr. Death defends himself in the fight of his life. This week, we look at Jack Kevorkian on Biography This Week. Tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 9 Pacific on A&E.
Introducing the revolutionary Penally Fountain Pen. This amazing pen features a unique iridium tip nib, specially crafted and constructed with Swiss precision engineering. It's hard, it's durable, it's virtually indestructible. And how much do you have to pay? $100, $50? No, it's yours for just $19.95. Plus, if you take advantage of this special offer, you'll also get 5 matching Penally pens absolutely free. You'll get this executive ball pen absolutely free. This roller ball pen also free. When you need more colors, this Combi tricolor pen writes blue, twist for green, and again for red, and it's also free. And this slim yet stylish ladies pen that fits perfectly in all handbags also free. And this beautifully crafted mechanical pencil also free. This amazing collection is worth $110, but now it's yours for just $19.95. Call within the next 10 minutes and you'll get this 65-piece refill pack free.
To order your Penally pen collection, call 1-800-903-4747 or send a check or money order to the address listed. So call 1-800-903-4747.
You're watching Jean Tierney on Biography. By 1952, Jean Tierney was divorced, unhappy, and behaving in strange ways that frightened her. She threw herself into work, hoping to find a cure by being busy. Between films, she traveled with her mother and daughter Christina to Paris, where the actress met the seductive Muslim prince, Ali Khan. The ex-husband of Rita Hayworth, he was the son of one of the world's richest monarchs, the Aga Khan, and a notorious bachelor.
She felt that he was very exciting. He knew the right places to go. She didn't want a mundane life that the rest of us live.
Jean embarked on a whirlwind romance. For her, Ali Khan was a means of escape from her divorce, from the tragedy of Daria, and her own growing mental stress.
I begged her not to take it seriously because I said, Ali Khan does not represent a good risk for you. Why don't you go and get yourself some nice guy from Connecticut? Because you're always involved with these characters, me included, that are not the prototype that you and your family really wanted.
In public, Jean seemed one of the world's most exciting women. But by 1954, her mind was drifting. She had difficulty remembering lines. More stress came from Ali's father, the Aga Khan, who publicly opposed their rumored plans of marriage. Ali did propose to Jean, but his offer came with a painful ultimatum.
He wanted her to come to his country and accept his religion and politics and not incorporate her family. And the family was everything to Jean. She was torn, just absolutely torn.
The many pressures were too much. As Jean worked on the lavish drama The Egyptian, her mind continued to deteriorate.
She would go in and out of these periods. She said, I know when I'm slipping. And she said, it's just like falling down a manhole and not having anything to grab onto.
By the time Jean made The Left Hand of God with Humphrey Bogart, she was near collapse. Her romance with Ali Khan was over, and she seemed totally helpless.
It's been a long time since I went walking out with a pretty girl.
Do you always startle people like that, Father?
Why?
One doesn't think of priests ever walking out with girls.
Between takes, they look for her, and we spotted her sitting under a tree with her head kind of in her lap, lost to everything. Humphrey Bogart was a help to Jean. He fed her lines. He just led her along like a little child.
You're not the only one who has something to atone for. I have, too.
You?
I fell in love with a priest.
Audiences had no idea Jean was ill, but at age 34, her fragile world finally shattered. While rehearsing for a television appearance, she collapsed and withdrew from the program. The terrified actress locked herself in her mother's New York apartment, where she slept and hallucinated.
She would go in a corner, and she often looked at the portrait of my sister. She would stare at that painting, and she would cry. She'd weep.
Barely able to function, Jean was taken by family members to the Harkness Pavilion in New York, where she reluctantly agreed to electric shock treatment.
She was absolutely paralyzed with fear. They would strap her down, and they would give her these shocks, no preparation, and then boom, and you know, just shatter the brain, and then she would wake up, and she had no memory.
Jean's misery deepened as she checked into the Institute for Living at Hartford, Connecticut. She spent her first night screaming in a locked room that seemed to her a cell. 19 more shock treatments increased her memory loss. The dazed patient was released to her mother's New York apartment where daughter Christina was living. One day, Jean opened a window and numbly stepped out onto the ledge of the 14th floor.
I came home from school, and I saw a big crowd on the street, and I looked up with a friend of mine. Her name was Rodina, and Rodina said, look, there's somebody up there with their nightgown on. And I realized it was my mother. I thought my mother was going to jump off.
After a tense 20 minutes, Jean stepped back inside.
She told me later, she said, thank God. She said, you know, I don't want to kill myself. I don't want to kill myself.
Police arrived, and Jean was taken to her third mental hospital. But the Menninger Clinic in Topeka, Kansas would be different. New medications helped. She explored her life's many tragedies in therapy, and for the first time, she saw an escape from her endless ordeal.
They gave her a sense of respect, and they helped her understand that it was not such a horrible thing to be sick and to have mental illness.
In 1958, Jean was released. She vacationed in Aspen, Colorado, and during her stay, she met a charismatic oil executive named Howard Lee. 3 months later, they were discussing marriage.
I think it was sort of love at first sight. Howard didn't care that my mother had been sick.
Howard Lee was soft-spoken and gentle with her, and that's what she needed.
A hopeful Jean returned to Los Angeles, but celebrations were premature. Overwhelmed by the attention of friends and the press, she suffered an emotional relapse and returned to Menninger on Christmas Day. After months of treatment, doctors encouraged her to try working part-time near the hospital. She agreed and took a job as a saleswoman in a Topeka, Kansas dress store.
People were very surprised to have Jean Tierney as a salesgirl, but she enjoyed it, and it made her realize that she could go out and do things again. And when the press interviewed her, she was very open. At that time, it was really very brave of her because most people didn't come out and talk about things like that.
In 1959, days before her 39th birthday, Jean was released from Menninger. With Howard Lee at her side, she felt confident and was eager to return to the screen. But she wondered, would anyone in Hollywood want her back?
Tired of having to wait for the great taste of filtered water? Now there's a better way. Introducing the Pure Touch faucet with a filter right inside. Pure Touch, exclusively for Moen.
Max is a mighty dog. That's why he gets new Mighty Dog carved beef and gravy. Tender slices and savory gravy to give Max all the energy he needs. New Mighty Dog carved beef and carved beef with pasta. Mighty Dog from Friskies.
Lincoln Mercury and Ford dealers have factory-trained technicians, genuine Ford parts, and now everyday low prices on the services you need most. Motorcraft shocks for cars are now just $69 or less per pair installed. On Ford light-duty trucks, just $99 or less per pair installed. The right people, the right parts, and always the right prices. Quality care service at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
At your service, quality care. I hope I see you there.
Today, Nortel Networks is changing the way businesses communicate.
Here come old Flat Top. Come grooving up slowly. He got Juju Eyeball. He won Holy Roller. He got hair down to his knee. Got to be a joker. He just do what he please. He wear no shoe shine. He got toe jam football. He got monkey finger. He say, I know you. You know me. One thing I can tell you is you've got to be free. Come together right now.
Bringing it all together with the true power of the internet.
Come together.
Nortel Networks.
Right now.
How the world shares ideas.
Over me.
Biography's look at Gene Tierney continues on A&E. 1960 brought poignant reminders of Gene Tierney's past. In May, Prince Ali Khan was killed in a sports car crash. In November, John F. Kennedy became president. And in December, Oleg Cassini was named designer of Jacqueline Kennedy's wardrobe. The year also brought great joy when on July 11th, at age 39, Gene married Howard Lee. A year later, they looked forward to the birth of a child. But once again, the expectant mother faced a crushing loss when she suffered a miscarriage. Now more than ever, Gene hoped to return to acting. And she was thrilled when her Laura director, Otto Preminger, gave her a role as a Washington hostess in the all-star drama Advise and Consent. But the challenge of acting, which she had once loved, soon became a stressful ordeal.
She would really get frightened, and she got this sensation of having a dried mouth. It was fear. Mother was never really the same after she'd been in the institution.
After filming, she joined the cast and her husband for lunch at the White House. She was seated next to the president, her former love, Jack Kennedy.
She and Jackie talked about old times, and she said to him that she was happily married now, and she had a husband, and when she went crazy, he still loved her.
In 1964, at age 43, Gene made her final feature film appearance in the Anne Margaret musical, The Pleasure Seekers. But her role as Brian Keith's jealous wife was little more than a cameo. The torch had passed to a new generation of actresses.
Leave him alone. He doesn't love you. He's only playing games with you, having fun. He doesn't give a damn about you.
I feel sorry for you, Jane.
How dare you be sorry for me, little tramp.
She just realized that she was older. It wasn't a place for her, and that she should stop putting the pressure on herself to go back. And she finally relaxed and said, you know, I'm not going to do it anymore.
For the next 2 decades, Gene and Howard led a quiet life together in a fashionable section of Houston, Texas.
She loved being the housewife that she had never been. She loved going to the market. She loved having lunch with her friends, playing bridge, and doing all the things that she had never had time to do before.
She was encouraged by her family to tell her story of survival. The result was the moving autobiography Self-Portrait, published in 1979. But the next chapter in Gene's life brought more heartbreak. The death in 1981 of her beloved husband, Howard Lee.
When he passed away, Gene got so sick. I thought she was never going to come out of it. She did. But she had lost the one person that was sort of her mainstay, and it was extremely difficult for her.
Alone and increasingly frail, Gene spent her last years privately at her home in Houston. She still suffered occasional bouts of mental confusion.
Sometimes she would call me in the middle of the night, and she would say, I'll meet you at the house at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And I didn't know what she was talking about. So I think that inside of her was her other life, the life that she had lived with me and early on, and where successes were multiple for her.
Her health began to fail, and unfortunately, she was smoking. She was smoking much too much, and that got her.
5 decades of smoking had taken their toll, and on November 6, 1991, Gene Tierney succumbed to emphysema. She was 70. Fans around the world mourned the loss of one of cinema's greatest, most enigmatic beauties.
Gene Tierney will be remembered as a unique presence in film. The audience feels something about her presence that they can't quite identify. I think that the stress she was feeling in her personal life adds to those portraits that we have.
My mother left a very warm impression on really everyone that she met. She always made a point of extending her goodness and her kindness to others. She was a very beautiful person within and without.
There was a wonderful girl that was battered by destiny. It appeared that everything had been given to her. And suddenly, at a certain moment in her life, luck ended. She was the unluckiest lucky girl in the world.
In her autobiography, Jean Tierney wrote movingly about her stays in mental hospitals and her 27 episodes of electroshock therapy. Long stretches of her life were a total blur. She recalled being invited to President Eisenhower's inauguration in 1957. Her next memory was waking up one day and discovering it was 1959. As she wrote in her book, Life is Not a Movie, Jean Tierney eventually realized disastrous personal decisions cannot be reshot or fixed in the editing room. Sunday, Kathy Lee Gifford. She's one of the most admired and most maligned women in America. Kathy Lee Gifford, Sunday. For A&E, I'm Peter Graves. I'll see you on Sunday.
What do we got?
Straight line.
Give me 300 now. Clear.
There's a better way to toast a sub. Quiznos oven-baked classics.
Start something special.
In a car commercial, you expect to see some fine print. Well, here's some of the finest darn print you'll ever see. Right now, get 2.9% financing on all 99 Oldsmobiles. Start something special at your Oldsmobile dealer now.
Now get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 13 weeks at just 57 cents a day, a 25% savings. Call now, 800-445-3883. That's 800-445-3883 for the Wall Street Journal.
Get on the case. Peruse its clues on the next L.A. Detectives. First, a tragic killing spurs the painstaking collection of key evidence.
We got it.
Then, will a hate crime come to a conclusion they love? Join host Bill Curtis for the next L.A. Detectives. Next, only on A&E.
Want to help kids learn? Help VH1 save the music. A kid who learns music reads better, scores higher on the SATs.
Stays out of trouble. Usually. Public school music programs are in trouble.
Call toll-free 1-888-VH14-MUSIC to find out how you can help.
VH1 Save the Music. Because music education equals brain power.
Looking for something? Check out QVC. We show about 150 different products each day. So tune in. You never know what you'll find.
A&E Home Video proudly presents the biography you've just seen for $14.95 plus shipping and handling. To order, call 1-800-423-1212 or visit our online store at biography.com.
Now, a dramatic drive-by shooting puts police on the trail of white supremacists on L.A. Detectives. Next on A&E.